Привет, друзья! Welcome back to Be Fluent in Russian podcast. My name is Fedor. Today, let's continue talking about war and peace. Today we'll have a bit of a more difficult story, a bit of a more difficult text about a story about war and peace that not a lot of people know. And quite frankly, we have a long text. So let's get into it. I'll read it first, and then we'll break it down. Мало кто знает, что «Война и мир» начиналась совершенно не как роман о войне. Первоначально Толстой собирался писать книгу о декабристах, которые вернулись из ссылки в 1856 году. Он хотел создать историю о человеке, который пережил каторгу, вернулся домой и пытается заново войти в общество. Для этого Толстой начал изучать прошлое героев, их молодость. Так появилась потребность описать события начала XIX века. Но когда Толстой начал писать предысторию, она быстро разрослась. Его интерес к эпохе Наполеона стал настолько сильным, что план полностью изменился. Роман про декабристов отодвинулся, а на его месте возник гигантский проект «Война и мир». Толстой работал над книгой почти 6 лет. Он переписывал ее несколько раз полностью, менял сюжетные линии, убирал и добавлял целые главы. Например, Пьер Безухов в ранних версиях был совсем не таким мягким и философским, а Наташа Ростова сначала была второстепенным персонажем. Толстой изучал сотни источников, письма солдат, архивы, описание битвы при Бородине, мемуары французских офицеров. Он лично ездил на места боев, ходил по полям, спрашивал стариков, что они помнят о войне. Интересный факт. Многие историки поначалу критиковали Толстого за то, что он слишком свободно обращается с фактами. Позже оказалось, что он был удивительно точным. Его объяснение военных ошибок Наполеона до сих пор считают одним из самых глубоких художественных анализов той кампании. Так роман, который должен был быть о декабристе, стал одной из самых знаменитых книг в мире. Okay, War and Peace. Let's now translate this. In fact, I'll need the help of a translator because certain terms I simply have never heard about them in English. Like, for example, ссылка. It's when you've been sent to exile, I think, but I'm gonna get a proper term for all of that. Мало кто знает. Few people know. This is a great structure. Мало кто знает, что something. Few people know that. So мало means few. Кто, who. Знает, knows. Few who knows. Or few who know. Мало кто знает, and then you continue with что. So if you have a fact that not a lot of people know, just simply say мало кто знает, что, let's say, мало кто знает, что я музыкант. Few people know that I'm a musician. Not me, I'm not, but it might be something about you. Что «Война и мир», that War and Peace, начиналась совершенно не как роман о войне. The War and Peace began completely not like a novel about war. So at first, War and Peace was Tolstoy considered it to be something else, not about war at all. Первоначально, originally, первоначально. If we break this word down, перво, first, начально, beginning. First beginning. Okay, but of course, firstly, originally, etc. Толстой собирался писать книгу о декабристах. Толстой собирался писать, Tolstoy planned to write. Книгу о декабристах, a book about the Decembrists. Decembrists is people of the higher status of Russia rebelled against the monarchy and demanded to do something more along the lines of like democracy and for the monarchs to be done. but the only thing that has happened is that there were only few of them, and they got severe punishment. And of course, it didn't change much. But Decabrisты is one of those brave people who sacrifice their status, their wealth, for their beliefs. So Tolstoy wanted to write a story about them. Которые вернулись из ссылки в 1856 году, who returned from the exile in 1856. So he initially wanted to write about them once they returned from the exile after their sentencing, and wanted to show a story about them, how they went through all of that. Он хотел создать историю. He wanted to create a story. Создать is a great word. Создать, to create, to make, is when there's not something there, but you make it, you create it. Историю о человеке, a story about a person, который пережил каторгу, who survived hard labor. Каторга is hard labor, meaning that you are forced to work in a mine or something. So it's a hard labor exile. You are punished to do hard labor. Of course, this also means that you're not free, that you're a prisoner, but you're not just sitting there, you're working hard. Вернулся домой, returned home, и пытается заново войти в общество, and was trying to re-enter society. Заново войти, to enter anew, to enter again, re-enter. Для этого, for this, again, great structure. Для этого, for this. Для этого is a great structure for those of you guys who can speak Russian a bit more. And if you, let's say, you want to say, I want to make борщ. And then you continue saying, for this, для этого, I need certain ingredients, right? So, для этого is a great structure. Толстой начал изучать. Tolstoy began to study. Прошлое героев, the past of his characters. Их молодость, their youth. Так появилась потребность. This is how the need came up or arose. Описать события начала XIX века. To describe the events of the early 19th century. Описать, to describe, to talk about. Описать is typically when you have an object and you describe it. All of its characteristics. And of course, here we have the events of the beginning of 19th century. This is when the Decabrists revolution started and all of that. Но, когда Толстой, when Tolstoy, начал писать, started to write. Начал писать is a great structure. I guess my favorite phrase is, it's a great structure. But it really is. What I notice in learners is that most of the time you would learn one or two individual words. But phrases kind of skip your attention. Because we understand, as foreigners, we understand the language as individual words. Okay, this word means this word means that. And very rarely do we learn words in pairs, like pairs of words, phrases. But here, начал писать is a great structure of two verbs. Начал, begin, plus whatever infinitive you wanted to start doing something. Начал есть, started to eat. Начал спать, started to sleep. Начал работать, started to work. So начал plus infinitive, if you want to say I started doing something. And you don't have to conjugate the second verb. The second verb will stay as an infinitive. Начал изучать. I don't say начал изучал. Double conjugation is a mistake in Russian. Предысторию, the backstory. Она быстро разрослась. It quickly expanded. Разрастись is when you something small, like a weed, right? But then it just grows so fast and overtakes the whole garden. That's разрастись. Его интерес к эпохе Наполеона, his interest in the Napoleonic era, стал настолько сильным, became so strong. Стал сильным, became strong or turned strong, что план полностью изменился, that the entire plan changed, or that the plan entirely changed. Роман про декабристов отодвинулся, a novel about the Decembrists was pushed aside. Отодвинулся means it moved to the side. А на его месте, and in its place, на его месте, in its place, возник, emerged, came up, showed up, возник. Гигантский проект, a giant project, «Война и мир», War and Peace. Толстой работал над книгой. Tolstoy worked on the book. Работать над, as a preposition, над means when you're working on something. A project, a job, something, right? So работать над книгой, worked on the book. Почти 6 лет, almost 6 years. Insane. I've been doing YouTube Be Fluent for about 10. And it just feels like it's such a long time that I've been working and doing Be Fluent. It's almost like my whole life. And for him to write one book and it doesn't come out, right? He writes it and writes it and writes it and writes it. And then once 4 books of this One Piece are over, he publishes them, right? So you work on something for 6 years. Insane. Он переписывал ее несколько раз полностью. He rewrote it several times from beginning to end or entirely. Переписывал, to rewrite. Переписывать means that you wrote something and then you redo it. The prefix пере attached to verbs. Sometimes one of its usages is to redo something. Несколько раз, a few times. Менял сюжетные линии, changed plot lines. Сюжетные линии, plot, in fact, plot lines. In English, it's one word, plot lines. In Russian, it's 2 different words. Сюжетные, plot, линии, lines. Убирал и добавлял целые главы. Removed and added entire chapters. Убирал, добавлял are opposites. Например, for example, Пьер Безухов is the name of the character. В ранних версиях, in early versions, был совсем не таким мягким и философским. Was not nearly as gentle and philosophical. Совсем не таким. Был совсем не таким, again, great phrase. He was not as something, совсем не таким, completely not as much soft, completely not as much philosophical. А Наташа Ростова, and Наташа Ростова, of course, is a different character, сначала была второстепенным персонажем, was originally a secondary character. Второстепенным, second step. Secondary. Толстой изучал сотни источников. Толстой studied, изучал means studied. Сотни источников, hundreds of sources. Письма солдат, the letters of soldiers. Архивы, of course, archives. Описание битвы при Бородине. Descriptions of the Battle of Borodino, which is the field or village where one of the main battles of that war between Napoleon and Russia happened. Мемуары французских офицеров. Memoirs of French officers. Он лично ездил на места боев. He personally traveled to the battle sites. Ездил means he traveled, went, drove. Of course, at that time, he rode horses. So ездил means he did that. Ходил по полям, walked the fields where the battle has happened. Спрашивал стариков, asked the elderly people, что они помнят о войне, what they remember about war. And this last piece, интересный факт, interesting fact. Многие историки, many historians, поначалу, initially, at first, поначалу, is when something happens in the beginning and then it changes typically, поначалу. Критиковали Толстого, criticized Tolstoy, за то, что он слишком свободно обращается с фактами. That he was handling the facts too liberally or too freely. Meaning, he would use the facts and twist them to add to his own understanding. Позже оказалось, later it turned out, что он был удивительно точным, that he was remarkably remarkably accurate. Удивительно means surprisingly, remarkably. Его объяснения, his explanations, военных ошибок Наполеона, of Napoleon's military mistakes, до сих пор means still, считают, consider, or they consider, одним из самых глубоких художественных анализов. One of the deepest artistic, or, yeah, I guess artistic analysis of that campaign. Той кампании. Of that campaign, of course, Napoleon's campaign when he was making mistakes while in Russia. Так роман, thus a novel, который должен был быть о декабристе, that was meant to be about a Decembrist, became, одной из самых знаменитых, one of the most famous, книг мира, books in the world, or one of the famous books in the world, one of the famous books in the world. That's that. I really urge all of you to read War and Peace. It's a very long book, but it's one of those books that you read, and even though it's a long piece, it touches on so many different souls of people and their struggles. And it gives you a very different perspective of war, of life, and it's really a great one. I really urge all of you to do it, and you will enjoy yourself. I can guarantee you that. That is all. Пока-пока.